Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim, Second Legacy, and thank you for stopping by. This is the place where we take the goings-on of the 2A day. We add some analysis, some commentary to make you smile, put a little delicious garnish of humor and sarcasm to get you through the day. And that's what we're going to do again today. So today we have got to talk about actually something rather large, Tim. This is a big deal. Are we going to have AR bans and mag bans in the SCOTUS? Wow.
They're not going to allow.
I mean, I would just like to put my flag on something.
Okay. The way you said that, it sounds like they're banning AR-15s in the SCOTUS. No. That's not what you meant. Okay.
No.
Go ahead.
No. Let me rephrase for anybody in the back and Tim. The SCOTUS has decided to have a conversation around making a ruling or granting cert to hear AR bans and mag bans around their constitutionality. Was that clear enough?
That is clear enough.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
What they're going to do. I know.
No matter how this falls, it's a big deal.
It's a massive deal because what have we said so many times on this channel? Everything is going to percolate up to the top because the gun controllers have pushed full bore. They are full throttle. Yep. So they've committed too far. And if we get AR bans on a docket if they get cert, that means the SCOTUS takes them up. You are going to see some lefties freak out.
Yeah. This is so weird because why would they do this with this Supreme Court? Like, this is something they should have done during the Clinton administration or any other time than now. I mean, this seems like the dumbest time to do what they're doing. And I used to say that these people were playing a long game and they were patient, but this seems pretty short-sighted to me to push this up to this Supreme Court.
You just nailed it because they got so incensed over the Trump administration that when Biden got in power, the gun controlling groups pushed full throttle, dude. They went full shaft on this bad boy. And I'm talking about a engine. So what they did was they pushed too far on these states in order to say, look how good my gun control bona fides are. We're going to ban assault weapons because the gun controllers pushed them that way. And now they've got a disfavorable Supreme Court for their liking. And AR bans and mag bans got pushed there by Second Amendment Foundation and FPC. Mm-hmm. Now, here's what's happening, and this is incredibly important to understand. They have decided to have a conversation around 5 different cases all around AR bans and mag bans. Okay. So these are 5 cases that are culminating in a conversation at SCOTUS this month, the middle of the month, May 16th, and they will decide if they're going to take them up or not. So we're going to find out this month if they're going to hear AR bans or mag bans at the highest court in the land with a favorable conservative majority.
Ooh, got butterflies in my stomach.
Ooh, it tingles. Bro, this one, guys, it's hard to overstate how big this is.
This will make or break us, you know?
Well, I'm going for make.
Yeah, I mean, I want to believe.
I'm putting that vibe out.
I want to believe that this court is going to decide in our favor. But I also know that with Roberts, we've talked about this many times before, that
he's wishy-washy.
Yeah, I might get a favorable decision, but it's going to be loaded with what ifs. It's no different than other rulings that we've had where they've actually said stupid things like, well, the Second Amendment's subject to reasonable restrictions. Great, courts are supposed to take away ambiguity because the courts are supposed to not ambiguity, not add ambiguity to the whole discussion, which is exactly what they did there. No, the Second Amendment protects an individual right to keep and bear arms. That much is rock solid, and this court decides that, but you can reasonably restrict them. Well, what's reasonable? We'll talk about that later.
We
got jobs over here.
I look forward to our next court cases.
Yeah, it's job security, folks. Let's deal with that later. We'll give it another 20 years to percolate.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I guess I'll see you in 25 years. So here's the actual release from SAF. Because, guys, again, they have not accepted they have not been granted cert, which means on the docket. They are just having the conversation. Check this out. This is number 16. This is from Bellevue, Washington. 2 Second Amendment Foundation cases challenging bans on so-called assault weapons and magazine capacity, one in Illinois and the other in Maryland, are among 5 cases distributed Tuesday by the U.S. Supreme Court for conference May 16th. Now, one of these is the Bianchi case and one of these is the Raul case. Guys, when we have been saying on this channel together, Tim and I, for almost more than a year now, You got to let the system keep going. You got to let them infringe. You sue them, and this court systems keep going. It takes a long time. Yeah. It's very irritating, but you have to let it work.
Right. You can't stop these things before they happen. Not in our system of government.
Correct.
They have to happen. Somebody has to be damaged, and then you can take it to the courts. So exactly. it's a painful, long, drawn-out process, but we have to trust in the process. The founders set up the best system of government that this world's ever seen. We've corrupted it and destroyed much of it, but there's still basic tenets there, and this is part of those basic tenets, which is how our court systems work, right? So,
exactly. Yeah. Dude, what would they do if they lost AR bans officially forever?
Well, the only thing they could do at that point is just hope that a different Supreme Court that's seated years down the road would undo it.
Well, right.
That would be their only.
In
the short term, there's nothing they can do because that just basically shreds everything that they're trying to do at the state level.
Exactly. That's exactly right. It would undermine. You talk about the impact that they were upset with brewing. Dude, if this comes out and they say, yeah, you can't ban an entire class of firearms that's protected under the Second Amendment and its common use, if they come out and they knock that one off the table and they also knock off the mag bans off the table, what do they have left? Because you just said it. The Bruin decision caused them to freak out. Imagine the freak out level they would have on that.
Well, they're going to have to pivot to something else if that gets taken away from them. And that something will probably be handguns.
They absolutely would. But right. But what if you take away the scariest specter of what they always fundraise off of? What are they going to go for?
Right. Well, they're going to have to admit the big lie that assault weapons are a problem. Like literally 100 or less assault weapons are used in violent crime every year in the United States. I mean, it's a statistical zero according to FBI data. Mm-hmm. And this is what they've hung their hat on. This is what they want to go after. Firearms that literally are very rarely used in crime because they look scary. Correct. And so few people own them that they think it's easy to politically take them away from you. The problem is they're gaining in popularity. Right. And so
they don't like it. They don't like it at all.
But yeah.
Well, so you know the other thing that I love about this, like genuinely from the sweetest spot of my heart, we've seen Supreme Court cases, and a good example would be the bump stock case and the Rahimi case, where the lawyers going into those cases in front of the SCOTUS were not really good at arguing.
No,
like we covered a bunch of them where the lawyer was really goofing a lot.
Yeah, and they don't fully understand the mechanics of the device they're trying to ban anyway. So
correct,
anyway.
But this is SAF. These guys, guys know.
Yeah.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is the people who are arguing in other cases weren't that versed on how strong of a case they could put forward. They didn't really do an amazing job in some of them. SAF, I have a feeling SAF, FPC, and GOA would land that plane real good.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I would be so excited. I would stream it. I would make T-shirts. I would have like face paint on.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be so beautiful.
If you literally read the law and you literally read the Constitution, they have no leg to stand on. And
no, not at all. But that's the problem.
And when it comes down to the NFA, which should be repealed to begin with, the NFA, how they define a machine gun, these devices do not come anywhere near meeting the definition that's written in law as to what a machine gun is. And that infuriates them. So they want to change the definition. But they can't do that quickly enough. So now they're going to drag us through the courts. But that's fine because
that's exactly
we have the law on our side actually this time. So
yeah, no, exactly. Well, listen to what Adam Kraut at one of the directors
SAF.
of SAF said. Yep. Quote, this is number 17. Today, the Supreme Court's docket reflected that both of our cases challenging Illinois and Maryland's ban on so-called assault weapons were distributed for conference, said Adam Kraut. We are hopeful that the court will discuss these cases during the next conference in mid-May and ultimately grant cert so that millions of Americans can enjoy the same Second Amendment rights their counterparts do throughout the country. It is time for the Supreme Court to confirm that these modern firearms are in fact protected by the Second Amendment. Yep. And it's a big deal, guys. This one, if they make an announcement, Tim, that they're going to take up an AR ban, I mean,
I'll be pretty excited.
The left is going to lose their incredible minds.
I'll be nervous, but I'm also, I'm fairly certain it'll go our way. I think the odds are certainly in our favor, but I mean, again, everything hangs on this. It's just like a big football game, like the pregame excitement. You know what you mean? Like the butterflies and nervousness, like, oh man, we got to do this. We got to do this. We can't run from this fight, folks. Right. The NRA strategy has been, let's just not get it before the Supreme Court. And they have a number of reasons for doing that.
Yeah.
They're scared of losing. They're also scared of if the Supreme Court decides something favorably, it'll hurt their bottom line, right? Because people don't donate money to gun rights groups if they protect your rights and get the Supreme Court to decide in your favor.
These guys.
Right. That's what's so beautiful about FPC, SAF, and GOA is they want to win. They want that Supreme Court decision that says hands off the Second Amendment, never touch it again, and they'd all like to go back to their regular lives and jobs. And that's why we want these people fighting for us. And Adam is a great dude. I remember we were supporting Adam when we were trying to get him on the board of the NRA to fix it, when all that craziness was going on years ago.
Yeah.
And then he was with FPC for a short while. Now he's the executive director at SAF, and SAF has really stepped up under his management.
They've done good work. FPC, GOA, and SAF have done very good work collectively in the past year and a half, 2 years.
I agree. And so
but this is a big deal, man.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, we got that coming up very quickly. It's already May 2nd at the time of this recording. That means we're just, a couple of weeks away from them deciding whether or not they want to hear this. And if they do want to hear that, or do want to hear these cases, then I think it's time for a little bit of a pregame party, a little tailgating. And then... you
know what I just realized? We're going to be at NRA when they decide if they're going to hear it or not.
That'll be a good one to talk about. And then we go find somebody that's with the NRA and ask them for a comment. Like, where are you at in this fight? Oh, that's right, you're absent. Never mind. Go back to what it is you do.
Hey, no, what you should do? We should walk up to them and go, "Hey, did you guys hear what we're doing without you?"
I'll have to bring a microphone just to do that. It'd be kind of a stick in the mud again. It reminds me of the time I got kicked out of the NRA because they were worried about what I was going to say. We'd gotten a whole bunch of people to rally outside of the door. We're getting ready to go in.
I can't relate to that at all.
Real activist T-shirts, and we were all going to go in. And the security came and stopped me, like, "We know who you are and what you're here to do." And it's like, yeah, I'm here to hold them accountable. I'm not going to start fights or anything. And I held my ground, and everybody backed us up, and they let us in. They had no choice, with the promise that we wouldn't cause problems.
Of course. No problems from Tim.
Yeah, I'm not here to cause problems. I'm just here to hold you accountable. No. That's not a problem.
Yeah, anyway. No, I don't have 19 one-liners from Gen X ready. Yeah.
Don't mess with me. I'm Gen X. Anyway, all right, folks. We'll bring you the news once we learn. And like Braden said, we'll be down at NRA when this all happens and transpires. And so we'll have to do an update one way or the other. We'll keep you guys posted. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.